story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello, good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalape. Our top stories. U.S. President Barack Obama charges all Nigerians to work towards having a free, fair and violence-free general elections. Also in this program, pro-Jonathan Group, the National Unity Group says no to card readers for the elections, insists on Jega's removal. And the All Progressive Congress raises alarm over what it described as planned by the PDP to deploy a modified form of the alleged Ekiti rigging formula in the elections. Outside Nigeria, Republican Senator Ted Cruz throws his hat into the ring for the 2016 American presidential election. Thank you for joining us now. With the 2015 elections a matter of days away, America's President Barack Obama has advised Nigerians on the importance of having a free, fair and credible elections. The American president, who says he is talking to Nigerian people, called for all hands to be on deck to ensure that the polls are free, fair and credible, while adding that the quest to make the polls successful is one that all Nigerians must be involved in. He also advised Nigerians to reject messages of hate and intolerance.
Hello. Today I want to speak directly to you, the people of Nigeria. Nigeria is a great nation, and you can be proud of the progress you've made. Together you've won your independence, emerged from military rule, and strengthened democratic institutions. You've strived to overcome divisions and turn Nigeria's diversity into a source of strength. You've worked hard to improve the lives of your families and to build the largest economy in Africa. Now you have a historic opportunity to help write the next chapter of Nigeria's progress by voting in the upcoming elections. For elections to be credible, they must be free, fair, and peaceful. All Nigerians must be able to cast their votes without intimidation or fear. So I call on all leaders and candidates to make it clear to their supporters that violence has no place in democratic elections, and that they will not incite, support, or engage in any kind of violence before, during, or after the votes are counted. I call on all Nigerians to peacefully express your views and to reject the voices of those who call for violence. And when elections are free and fair, it is the responsibility of all citizens to help keep the peace, no matter who wins.
Obama also called on all Nigerians to reject a perversion of the Islamic religion personified by the Boko Haram terror group.
Successful elections and democratic progress will help Nigeria meet the urgent challenges you face today. Boko Haram, a brutal terrorist group that kills innocent men, women, and children, must be stopped. Hundreds of kidnapped children deserve to be returned to their families. Nigerians who have been forced to flee deserve to return to their homes. Boko Haram wants to destroy Nigeria and all that you have built. By casting your ballot, you can help secure your nation's progress. I'm told that there's a saying in your country, to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. Today I urge all Nigerians, from all religions, all ethnic groups, and all regions, to come together and keep Nigeria one. And in this task of advancing the security, prosperity, and human rights of all Nigerians, you will continue to have a friend and partner in the United States of America.
And our ECOWAS chairman and Ghanaian President John Mahama on Monday met with his Nigerian counterpart Goodluck Jonathan ahead of the March 28 presidential election. Speaking to journalists after the closed section, President Mahama said the visit is to ensure that elections are free and transparent. The Ghanaian president also expressed hope that the result will be accepted by the electorate, leaving no room for post-election violence.
Extended my solidarity to the Nigerian people through my brother, President Jonathan, to say that the whole of ECOWAS, not only ECOWAS, but the international community is in solidarity with Nigeria to have a very transparent and free election so that the democratic process in Nigeria will be further entrenched. This is a critical election for Nigeria, and it will be one more indication to the world that Nigeria is a democratic and a democratic country ruled by the tenets of good governance and rule of law. And so we want to wish you all the best. We are also meeting with the INEC to look at the state of preparedness. I believe that following the postponement of the elections from the 14th to the 28th, it has given the INEC much more time to be able to complete, all its processes and be in readiness to ensure that voters are not disenfranchised and that the results of the elections are accepted. We expect that there will be no post-election violence and that all the parties involved in this election will accept the results of the election in good faith when INEC has announced them. ECOWAS will continue to monitor the situation and will do everything possible to stand in solidarity with the Nigerian people to ensure that these elections pass off successfully and Nigeria continues in the role that it plays in a sub-regional body. As you know, Nigeria is a very important member of ECOWAS, the largest economy and the largest population in the ECOWAS region. And so Nigeria's safety and security is the safety and security of the whole of the ECOWAS region. And so all the presidents, I stand on behalf of all the presidents of ECOWAS and wish that all Nigerians will come out and express their votes, and their votes will count towards electing who becomes the next leader of this country.
And also held a similar meeting with the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammad Buhari. Like the earlier one with President Jonathan, the one with Buhari was at the airport. The APC presidential candidate flew into Abuja from Owerri for the meeting on Monday evening. With just 5 days to the March 28 presidential election, a pro-Jonathan group is demanding that permanent voter cards be used without smart card readers. This, it says, is because it cannot guarantee a credible process. Addressing a press conference in Abuja, the National Unity Group argued that the outcome of the election could plunge the country into a avoidable crisis if INEC does not abandon its plans to use the card readers. Our correspondent Basi Aye has more.
INEC's decision to use card readers for accreditation of voters during the March 28 and April 11 elections have come under attack once again. This time, it's a group known as the National Unity Group, which says the experimental technology is controversial and a threat to democracy. Members of the group are mainly supporters of President Jonathan with clear links to the People's Democratic Party.
In order to avert avoidable political and constitutional crises, INEC should quickly discontinue the planned use of smart card readers and instead use the PVCs without smart card readers, as was done in Osun and Ekiti states. It is instructive to recall that the smart card were not used in the 2011 elections, and yet the elections were adjudged locally and internationally as the best in the history of Nigeria as free, fair, and credible.
We are not saying the election should be postponed. We are not saying the election should be postponed. We are saying that the smart card system should not be used. We have been using the manual system of voting in this country all along, isn't it? It will not involve any additional expenditure nor any additional activity on the part of INEC. All they have to do is that you go get accredited at your polling unit and go and vote as it has been done previously.
They also claim that INEC chairman is working towards tilting the elections in favor of the All Progressives Congress. On these grounds, the group promptly called for his resignation.
We have it on good authority that Professor Jega single-handedly appointed an APC card-carrying professor without consultation with other national commissioners to recruit all the INEC and ad hoc staff for the conduct of the 2015 general election. This is a clear testimony of Jega's open romance and avowed commitment to deliver the APC and its candidate.
The pro-Jonathan group argued that by insisting on using card readers, Jega has shown that he is collaborating with APC to subvert the wish of Nigerians. With all the allegations coming few days to the presidential elections, analysts hope that the democratic process will not be disrupted. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
It is no doubt a season of endorsements as elections get closer. The latest group on the endorsement train is the Corporate Forum, which says it is picking President Goodluck Jonathan as its candidate for the presidential elections. Patience Ajiboye has more in this report.
Addressing the press at the Institute of International Affairs, Chairman of the Corporate Forum, Funsho Lawal, while examining the scorecard of the Goodluck administration, says, under Jonathan's watch, Nigeria has become one of the fastest-growing economies in the world and the #1 destination for foreign direct investment in Africa.
It is not worthy to mention here that the private sector has flourished and benefited immensely because of the business-friendly programs of the Jonathan administration. Today, the Nigerian economy, with an average growth rate of about 6.2% per annum, is the largest economy in Africa, thanks to the Jonathan administration.
On why the body waited until now to show its support for PDP's presidential flag bearer, this is Funsho Lawal's reaction.
So we believe that we'll be very consistent. In fact, the corporate forum has been in existence since 1999. And each time, we also have an arm of the corporate forum which is called the SRG, Strategic Research Group, which has been analyzing data from government, we've been pushing out figures since 1999. So we've been doing this, and mind you, we are not the only organization. I mean, we are just corporate forum. You have the government there, you have so many good luck support groups in the country. But on our part, we've been very consistent, and we've been coming out with different figures and different reports at different times in support of this administration.
The Corporate Forum is a non-governmental organization which serves as an intermediary between corporate Nigeria and government and has been in existence since 1999. Patience Ajiboye, CoreTV News, Lagos.
And now the People's Democratic Party has accused the federal government of spending 1 trillion naira on a hate campaign and negative media propaganda targeted at its presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. This is said is in the midst of grinding poverty PDP and the government has subjected Nigerians to in the last 16 years. Spokesman for the APC presidential campaign, Garba Shehu, noted at a news conference in Abuja that hundreds of billions of Nigeria has been spent on print, broadcast and social campaign messages. He also claimed that President Jonathan had been crisscrossing the country, doling out 50 billion naira on the average to traditional rulers, especially in southwest Nigeria. And now the People's Democratic Party has also accused All Progressive Congress of producing a documentary with a view to inciting the masses against the federal government. Spokesman for the PDP's presidential campaign, Council Femi Fani-Kayode, said at a news conference in Abuja that opposition figures will be held responsible if any of its leaders is hurt. He also lashed out at the APC for suggesting that the government had a hand in the abduction of the over 200 schoolgirls from Chibok, Borno State, almost a year ago.
They are prepared to say and do anything in order to denigrate the powers that be, to undermine our nation, and to incite our people and to bring the president, the government, and its officials into disrepute. The latest video, which was produced by a group called APC New Video, was quietly procured and secretly viewed by the intelligence units of this directorate. Amongst other things, they have listed as topics a number of issues and allegations, some of which are listed below. 1, that many Nigerians are using private jets, and that this, in some way, is indicative of the corrupt nature of the Nigerian people, which is, of course, absurd. 2, that in the last 4 years, the government has spent 48 billion naira on the presidential air fleet, which is, of course, a preposterous lie. Thirdly, they raised issues about the kidnapping of the Chibok girls, insinuating that somehow the government had a hand in the whole affair and that they are hiding the girls. Fourthly, they raised issues about the comments of Stephen Davis, the Australian negotiator, who alleged that a friend of the president's, Governor Ali Modu Sheriff, is sponsoring Boko Haram. They made all kinds of allegations, including the alleged relationship between the president of Chad, the president of Nigeria, and Governor Ali Modu Sheriff. Needless to say, these allegations are baseless and they are simply unbelievable.
CoreTV Primetime News. After the break, the major opposition party APC says the PDP has put up what it termed a modified Ekiti rigging strategy in the coming election. We'll bring you more details after this timeout. Stay with us.
Election time don't come. Time to vote don't come. Your vote tonight, your power. Make you use up well. Lagos State APC don't do better. Better road, transport, get better school, hospital cell, better economy, plenty jobs, security, environment. For continuity in excellence in Lagos State. Vote for APC, APC, All Progressives Congress, APC. Vote for APC, 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 vote for Akinwumi Ambode for governor.
Vote for the consolidator, Akinwumi Ambode, for governor of Lagos State. Vote APC.
It's CoreTV Primetime News live from our Lagos studios. If you just join us, a quick reminder of our top stories. US President Barack Obama charges all Nigerians to work towards having a free, fair, and violence-free general elections. And pro-Jonathan group, the National Unity Group, says no to card readers for the elections and insists on Jega's removal. And the All Progressive Congress raises alarm over what he described as planned by the PDP to deploy a modified form of the alleged Ekiti rigging formula in the coming elections. You can also reach us on our social media platforms, like our Facebook page is facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming, log on to www.youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And just 5 days to the presidential election, the major opposition party APC says the PDP has put up what it termed a modified Ekiti rigging strategy. While addressing journalists in Lagos, the APC National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed says the PDP is certain it cannot be victorious if the voting process is uncompromised and violence-free. Our correspondent Patience Ajiboye completes the report.
Following the release of an audio tape by military officer Sagir Koli, alleging the rigging of the 2014 Ekiti gubernatorial election by the PDP, the APC has again raised an alarm, saying the PDP is out to use the same ploy to ensure the presidential election turns out in their favor. In what he terms modified Ekiti rigging plot, National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Lai Mohammed, alleges that the PDP is currently training thugs across the country to stir up violence during the polls, as has been rehearsed in the OPC rally staged last week.
They have also mobilized ethnic militias across the country, MASOP in the southeast, OPC in the southwest, and ex-militants in the Niger Delta. Mobilized under the pretext of a 9 billion naira pipeline contract.
And now, ahead of the March 28 and April 11 elections, the APC Solo chapter has continued to sensitize its candidate and supporters. Our correspondent Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the party's word rally and filed in this report.
Many waited patiently for the party chieftains of the ward to arrive. The monarch of Isolo, Kolawole Agbabiaka, says APC is a party to vote for at all levels and urges the people of Isolo to vote for change as being promoted by the party.
Many of our people enjoy themselves and they're trying to tell the community what they have at time to do for us after the election. And that is why the community themselves find it that we should also celebrate it with them, and I am in their support.
A chieftain of APC in Isolo, Jide Oni, says the people should cooperate with the party and accept its messages of change.
That is exactly what we are doing, house to house, street to street, area to area, and we thank God for the turnout and acceptance for all the members of the ward.
A member of the House of Representatives who is seeking re-election, Akim Muniru, says APC is confident of winning the election at all levels, but also urged the people to be vigilant.
To show to the opponents that it's not a case of plenty of crowd. We are on ground. We hold the people, and the people are our people, and they know us.
The party urged the people to shun violence on election day and ensure that their votes count. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
And in view of the forthcoming national and state elections scheduled for March 28 and April 11, in that order, the management of Lagos State University, LASU, has declared a recess for both staff and students with effect from Monday, March 23, 2015. The school management has therefore advised staff and students to vacate the campus immediately. The date of resumption will be announced later. Away from that now, as President Barack Obama advises Nigerians against violence in the forthcoming general elections, Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, is getting ready to play host to the vice presidential candidate of the APC, Yemi Osinbajo, who was at theater of war as APC supporters were on their way to the town hall meeting to be addressed by the APC vice presidential candidate. Our correspondent Rashid reports from Ado Ekiti.
The event, originally designed as a walk, was later converted to a town hall meeting of the All Progressives Congress. And as the crowd waited for the party's vice presidential candidate, Yemi Osinbajo, thugs allegedly descended on those coming to the venue, beating them silly. These party supporters give an account of what they experienced.
We are coming from Igede. We have about 7 buses branded coming. As we are coming, we have to bypass the main road to pass through the outskirts so that we will not have any interference with anybody in the town. There was a trailer that blocked the road. We were even thinking that the trailer was about turning. The next thing we had was gunshots. Bam, 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 from nowhere. Initially we are trying to look at what is really happening. Maybe it was a kind of misunderstanding. But later we saw these guys, about 4 or 5 FT guys. They dressed in black, started shooting. The whole result was this.
If truly you have supporters, if truly the people of Ekiti are for you, I see no reason why any party or any governor, for that matter, should go out and be waylaying people. in the course of that attacking them. Does it mean if this is few days to election, if this is happening few days to election, what will happen on election day?
On arrival of the vice presidential candidate with other party leaders, Yemi Osinbajo says the security agencies and the government must do more to protect people in the lead up to the polls. He also admonished members of his party to be steadfast while urging the people of Ekiti to vote massively for the APC.
Regardless of party, regardless of tribe, government cannot afford to fail in that responsibility. Once a government fails in that responsibility, it has failed in everything. So that's what we expect. We expect only that the government will do the right thing, ensure security of that.
As part of the working arrangement between the APC and the Labour Party in the state, Labour Party leader Opeyemi Bamidele condemned the incessant attacks on opposition supporters in the state. He, however, added that the March 28 elections will change the tide of events in the state.
The issue at stake now is how all of us can work together to ensure the victory of General Muhammadu Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The International Court of Justice is waiting to prosecute people at the end of this election. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who perpetrates violence because you are in a position of authority is taking the risk of being prosecuted by the International Court.
The coming days is expected to be full of political intrigues with a tinge of violence, despite repeated assurances. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
A federal high court in Abuja has ordered officials of Young Democratic Party to retract a press statement that misrepresented its judgment within 24 hours. The court had in a recent judgment held that YDP was registered as a political party by the virtue of INEC's failure to communicate its decision not to register it as stipulated by the Electoral Act. But officials of the party told journalists at a press briefing that the court had asked INEC to include YDP on the ballot paper. Consequently, the presiding judge, Justice Ahmed Mohammed, at last adjourned date, directed the party's officials to appear before him and explain why they misinformed the public and the judgment. At the resumed sitting, the plaintiff counsel Kevin Nwufa informed the court that his client has won. Away from that now, rival supporters of the All Progressive Congress and People's Democratic Party on Monday clashed in Kaduna on the sidelines of a campaign march organized by the opposition party. CoreTV News learned that trouble started when security personnel attempted to stop the 1 million man march originally planned to kick off from the Ahmadu Bello Stadium at about 10 a.m. They asked APC supporters to move to the Kaduna International Trade Fair Complex on Kaduna-Zaria Expressway. This did not go down well with the party supporters who were chanting change and proceeded to vent their anger on anything bearing PDP name and logo, including pulling down billboards and posters. The situation almost got out of control at the NEPA roundabout when APC supporters tried to scale the fence of the Goodluck Sambo campaign office but were stopped by PDP members. At least 5 people sustained injuries in this scuffle and are currently being treated at the Baraudiku Specialty Hospital in Kaduna. And following the defection of the Rivers State Deputy Governor Tele Kuru from the APC, the People's Democratic Party has called on other leaders of the All Progressive Congress to emulate him. The party made this call in a press release signed by PDP Campaign Organization's Director of Media and Publicity, Femi Fani-Kaode, as they expressed the party's happiness in receiving Ikoro back into its family, saying it was a deeply courageous step. The statement read, "Thus we encourage of other key leaders of the APC to abandon the ranks of the doomed and to join the PDP." The statement also quotes, "We urge them to see the light and retrace their steps in the same way that the Deputy Governor of Rivers State has done." The defection of the Deputy Governor at this critical time represents a deep and grievous spiritual wound on the APC. They are falling apart at the seams and they are crumbling. We agree with Deputy Governor that the APC are a party of rebels and anarchists and they are a party of deceit. End of quote. The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar IV, has asked security agencies and the country to provide adequate protection for members of the National Youth Service Corps deployed. There are 6 officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct the general elections. Abubakar gave the charge when the NYSC Director General, Brigadier General Johnson Olawumi, paid a pre-election advocacy visit to his palace. The Sultan also urged politicians to ensure the safety of the Corps members, saying he had directed 3 strict heads in the state to take charge of the safety of Corps members serving in their domains, and one same move to be replicated in other parts of the country. Olawumi, in his response, appealed to the monarch to help sensitize members of the public, especially politicians, to ensure the safety of the Corps members before, during and after the elections. The DG also urged Nigerians to report misconduct by any Corps members to the NYS's management rather than take the laws into their hands. And now the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has denied claims that it was planning to arrest the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, and other key opposition leaders. EFCC Chairman Ibrahim Lamode said at the launch of Red Alert on Scam, a special publication of the anti-graft agency in Abuja, that the Commission will not tolerate a situation where politicians use its name to further their political ambition. He argued that the agency does not need to be prompted to do its work of investigating allegations of corrupt practices. Lamode also expressed concern over the circulation of a fake letter purportedly from the office of the Chief of Staff to the President directing the FCC to investigate some political figures. And now the Ogun State Police Command has nabbed a gang of kidnappers when it discovered a den belonging to the culprits in Ijebu-Igbo area of the state. 5 suspects, including a serving councillor in the state, have been arrested by the police in connection with the discovery. Our correspondent Olajumoke Olatuji has details.
From a distance, the uncompleted building in 7 Egbe Road, Ijebu-Igbo area of Ogun East Senatorial District, would pass for any other building where people live and earn their legitimate income. But with a closer look, it's not. Latest discovery by the police reveals it is a den for kidnappers. Inside the building, in one of the dark rooms, is a shrine with charms and other fetish items lavishly displayed. While some of the suspects confessed to their crime, others denied any link.
I'm a present councillor now in Odogbodo local government.
What ward? Which ward?
Ward 14.
Which party?
APC.
You're not part of the gang?
No, this is the man they use the Okada.
First day, they can't do this work. I know the amount. I know the info. They carry one woman. They accept one for this place. They can't come our village. Then drag and shout, then collect money for the woman. I don't collect anything.
Presently, 5 suspects are in police net, including the 7th councillor from Odogbodo local government area of the state. The police commissioner in the state, Valentine Ntontriko, said the 2 buildings would remain sealed while investigations continue.
This is a den of kidnappers. This is a kingpin has just been arrested with 5 of his men. And we have shown you the kingpins. They are outside. We'll go and show you if we need them. And that is the shrine. We have just shown you the shrine where they bring in the men. Anybody are kidnapped, they normally bring him to this place, to the shrine, where they will hypnotize the person, where they will now turn the brain of the person and then begin to make demands on them.
As one of the major objectives of the Ogun Police Command to unravel and make Ogun State a crime-free environment, this has come with some commendations from residents of the town. Olajumoke Olatuji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We take a break now. We'll be back with business, sport, and other stories as our Nigeria. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
In business tonight, President Goodluck Jonathan has launched the Development Bank of Nigeria to make small business owners have easy access to loans. He also used the platform to present his vision for the next 4 years to Nigerians. Speaking at the launch in Abuja, the president said the bank is expected to disburse over 200,000 new loans to micro, small and medium enterprises in the first 5 years of its operation. Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, for her part, said the introduction of the bank will mark the end of high cost of finance for small business owners.
They are most times forced to borrow short-term for long-term investments. The Development Bank of Nigeria will change that. The Development Bank of Nigeria will focus on helping small and medium-sized enterprises and even micro-enterprises and the medium corporate sector to create wealth in the economy, diversify the economy, particularly industry, and create jobs. As far as achieving these objectives are concerned, we know that development banks have in the past had mixed results. But we've also made a careful study together with our partners of the traits and characteristics that have allowed development banks to succeed. And there are many successful ones, including the KfW in Germany.
The Development Bank of Nigeria, DBN, represents a defining milestone in our administration's efforts to empower more micro, small, and medium enterprises across our land. MSMEs form the backbone of the Nigerian economy. The men and women who own and operate them are true reflections of the strong Nigerian spirit of enterprise and the vigorous work ethic that defines us as a nation and as a people. The Development Bank of Nigeria will revolutionize lending by offering loans to businesses with tenure of up to 10 years and offer up to 18 months moratorium. Of course, this has been explained by the CME. I'm very happy to know that the new bank is already set to disburse over 200,000 new loans after the process of setting up the bank has been consummated.
And now the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria holds its second meeting for this year on Monday and Tuesday, March 24, 2015. According to analysts, the committee will consider, among other, domestic and international economic and financial conditions in order to implement policies that will influence the Nigerian economy in the next few weeks. It will be recalled at the end of a January 2015 meeting, the MPC maintained all its rates as well as the midpoint of the foreign exchange rate at 160 naira to a dollar, and following the persistent demand pressure at the foreign exchange market in the face of the declining oil price and external reserves. The CBN suspended the retail Dutch auction 16 window, leading to a devaluation of the naira. Well, let us now join Savannah Zoku for stock market report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabena Izuku. Equity transaction on the floor, the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today as the All Shares Index appreciates by 0.58% to close at 29,505.47 basis points. The market capitalization increased to close at 9.84 trillion naira. In all, the total volume of 611 million units of shares valued at 5.6 billion naira were exchanged in 3,271 deals. On the gainer side, 40 oil topped the gainers chart to close at 196 naira 98 cover with 6 naira 93 cover. Price difference followed by Lafarge Africa also known as WAPCO, Guinness, Stanbic IBTC, and International Brewers. On the loser side, Nestle topped the losers chart, followed by CAP PLC, Cadbury, United Africa Company of Nigeria, and Flour Mill. Meanwhile, Mansard Insurance PLC topped the highest traders, followed by First Bank Nigerian Holdings, Union Bank of Nigeria, Zenith Bank, and Eco Transnational Incorporation. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Thank you, Savannah. Let's now join Brownson Wana for Sport News.
Very thanks for joining me on our Sport News tonight. I am Brownson Uwana. President Goodluck Jonathan has congratulated the Under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, on their victory over Senegal in their final of the 2015 African Youth Championship in Senegal. The presidency statement said President Jonathan joins other soccer-loving Nigerians in applauding the team's glorious triumph over their Senegalese opponent despite of the backing of partisans' home crowd. Meanwhile, the Flying Eagles will now meet five-time Under-20 world champions Brazil, North Korea, and Hungary in Group E at the World Cup in 2 months. AYC runners-up Senegal were drawn in Group D alongside Mexico, Serbia, and 2013 runners-up Uruguay. Ghana, who finished as bronze medalists at the 2015 AYC, were drawn in Group B alongside Panama, Austria, and six-time runners-up Argentina. Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) has confirmed that the friendly match between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Cranes of Uganda will hold on Wednesday at the Akwa Ibom State International Stadium. The latest confirmation has put to rest speculations that the match has been moved to the Abuja National Stadium. NFF officials confirmed that the government and people of Akwa Ibom State are excited about the game, which is slated for 6 p.m. and will pitch three-time African champions against the 1978 African Cup of Nations runner-up. Finally, on our sport news tonight, to the English Premier League, FA chairman Greg Dyke has warned Premier League football is in danger of having nothing to do with English people, as new proposal to limit the number of EU players are online by the English football governing body. The FA has also revealed plans to toughen the rules on homegrown talent in the latest proposal from its commission, which was set up in 2013 to improve the English football. The commission also proposed change to work permit rules having heightened flaws in the system. In the proposal, only the best non-EU foreign players will be granted permission to play in England. And that's a wrap on our sport news tonight. Very big thanks for watching. I am Brownson Uwana.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
And outside Nigeria now, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz from the headline Republican right confirmed today he will run for president in 2016, the first major candidate to officially bid in the next race for the White House. The announcement fires the starting gun on the Republican race already expected to be a crowded contest. The 44-year-old Tea Party favorite has been senator in Texas since 2012 and is a long-time critic of U.S. President Barack Obama's administration. He has raised hackles in his own party in recent years when he helped push the U.S. government into shutdown over budget fights and for opposing Republican leaders on a series of issues. He is expected to appear at the Christian Liberty University in Virginia later today, where he could flesh out his leadership ambition. It's the CoreTV News at prime time. Just before we go, a recap of major stories. We told you that U.S. President Barack Obama charges all Nigerians to work towards having a free, fair and violence-free general elections. We also reported a pro-Jonathan group, the National Unity Group, says no to card readers for the elections and insists on Jega's removal. And finally tonight, the All Progressive Congress raises alarm over what it described as planned by the PDP to deploy a modified form of the alleged rigging formula in the coming elections. And that's been the show tonight. Many thanks for watching. In just 5 days to the presidential election, join the movement for a free, a fair and credible election. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Have a good night rest.